Hey everybody, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the Medicare kiosks and how Medicare agents, as a Medicare agent, you can be more, I guess, useful there and more beneficial to you. So I know in the business of Medicare and Medicare Advantage especially, we're not really supposed to be forceful in closing people. But whenever you have someone who has a question for you, they are obviously questioning not really the plan, but they're questioning the decision that they've made. And that should kind of let you know that, hey, this person has a question that they're not feeling real confident about their plan, right? I can tell you for me, when I choose my plan, when I chose my insurance products, when I chose my investments, I don't look back at them and when I see some new shiny object think I should go and maybe consider buying that or switching to that one, unless there's a doubt in my mind. So anyone coming to you and talking to you, unless they have a very specific question like, why is my United Healthcare or Humana plan charging me $12 a month when it should be like $10? Right? Like it's some operational question. But if it's really a question, and even then, for them to be talking to you, unless you're wearing like a United Healthcare shirt at a United Healthcare event, for those things, it's probably because underneath their initial question, they are confused, or at least uncomfortable with the decision that they've made. Because if they weren't, they probably wouldn't ask you anything. Because a lot of these events, right, as a Medicare agent, you're only supposed to really say hello, good morning, good afternoon, the regular salutation. You can't really be too aggressive here. And because of that, whenever someone comes to talk to you, they are initiating contact. They have a question. So it would be in our best interest to try and sit down and talk to them and really have a good, honest conversation. And not many people, I feel, do that at the kiosks. I, for one, never used to do that before until I kind of, dove into why I would talk to somebody at some event like that, right? Like, if I saw, and I would talk about this utility electric company all the time, I had no idea that was even them, because my brain was like, shut off. I'm not going to talk to them, because they're salespeople. Not like salespeople, right? So that's how a lot of people come across the kiosk. They don't want to say hello above or any more than the obligatory, like, if I say hi, you say hi, keep on going, right? So if they come and ask you a question, they obviously want more than just the yes, no, $25 answer. They need to know why they made the decision that they made, and that the decision that they made was a good decision for them. And the only way you are going to know that is if you talk to them. And if they start being standoffish, you need to refine the way you ask. Refine the way your informational intake is. Refine the way that you talk to them so that they feel more open to disclosing information that you require as the consultant, as the professional, to provide adequate consultation, which is what we do. At least that's what I do. So, try your best to talk to them, have them sit down, understand why they made the choice that they made and what plan they're currently on, or if they're not on any plan at all, why they made that decision, right? That is an active choice, not having a plan. They might not know the consequences of not having a Part D plan. They might know they might not know the consequences or the potential pitfalls of, having a really high chance of, or a really high co-insurance on Part B if they ever were to get any services, right? The catastrophic costs that something can cost them if they do get, chemotherapy, if they do have any kind of, Part B service that racks up the bills, because there's no max out of pocket on a original Medicare Part B. So find out, what their reasoning was, right? Maybe they don't know these things, and you have to be able to pull out these answers from the individual without making them feel like they didn't know any better, or feel like that the client should know these things, right? Because that can make the client feel uneasy. They might put up a guard, and you're already a salesperson, so they already don't like you. So let's just come to terms with that. There's going to be a little more work on your behalf to kind of get the guard down, right? So that's one thing that I want everyone who's listening to or watching to explore, right? Get the clients or the prospects there to talk to you more on a deeper level versus just yes, no, maybe so, $10, right? Or whatever I said before on how much things cost. Because if they don't know, what else don't they know? And it would be very good to have, stories, analogies, to kind of spark and keep their interest. I find that really helps me, at least, conceptualize a lot of things that I don't fully understand by using universal truths or stories that, analogies, not like full-blown like once upon a time, but like analogies. Like I always say, I don't understand why people want to use their medical insurance. Everyone has homeowners insurance that has a house, yet no one wants to use their homeowners insurance, right? You're not seeing me burning down my house to use my insurance. So why would I be burning down my health to use my medical insurance? Doesn't make sense. Right? And then you kind of, never thought about it that way. There's tons of little stories like that you can like grab their attention with, and now that you kind of replenish their attention span a little bit more, so that as you bore them, hopefully you don't bore them like I do, but bore them with topics that they're not so interested in, you can kind of reel them back in with short informational kind of perspective shifts by using analogies to help kind of guide the conversation along to get to what they want, what the core question that they actually have, or the core concern that they actually have, which a lot of times is, I don't know why I chose the plan I'm on. I don't know why I chose the plan I'm on. I don't know how to make a good decision on a medical plan, so I let the universe decide for me. But that's the worst way to find out, because then not only are you most concerned about it, you worry about it whenever you go to doctors, but you also, expose yourself to a lot of unknowns. Like the medical plans that are out there, the ones that you and I both sell, are very transparent as far as how much things cost, right? Aside from the fact that maybe the claim won't get approved, the service might get denied. Outside of that, it's pretty black and white. So for people not to know what they're going to get charged is very, very, that shouldn't be a concern. You should know, right? Maybe you don't know off the top of your head, but you should be able to find that answer. So if you don't know how much it is and it is concerning you and they're talking to you about it, they probably need a little more help than just, let me go look online, find it out for you. Or like I did yesterday, let me look at your card and tell you why you paid that much money for your specialist visit, because they actually have the specialist visit charge written on the card. So, outside of those things, they probably need more help. And then you can kind of finagle and see what the core issue is. So what about if you have a client or a prospect out there at the table who says that they have an agent? Personally, this is what I do. I say, great, make sure you ask your agent, if to help you with anything in the future, because, I would much rather you, since you already built a relationship and it's a good relationship, I would hope, like I build with all of my clients. So I hope that you feel confident you can go ahead and just call them up. If not, you can always, I'm always welcome to meeting new people, having new clients if you're open to that. But that's up to you. And I leave it because it truly is up to them. And I don't want people stealing my clients. I would expect my clients to understand that they can call me when they have problems, when they have issues. And if not, if they choose to enroll with someone else, that's okay too. It's my fault sometimes, but a lot of times it's not my fault that they choose another agent. You know, it could just be that they like this one better than me. I mean, honestly, that could be it. And that's okay. But I always stress, especially with me and with my agents that I have under me for my agency, that you ask. Because you always want that same courtesy and the karma of the world to be given to your potential client meeting with some other agent who is doing a tabling event or is at some seminar. The next other kind of questions that come up whenever doing these kiosks that no one really talks about is if you're doing this kiosk as an agency, if your agency owns the kiosk, how well or how good, how much effort are you going to put towards making sure that your agency keeps in good faith, in good manners, right? So sometimes, like my current predicament or current environment, circumstance, in a positive way, is that the agency I work with owns the locations, right? So I can go in and everyone that goes in is part of the same agency, which is great. I don't want to be stealing clients, right? I also don't want to seem too aggressive because it tarnishes the entire agency's name. So that I'm playing a little bit more of the long game with understanding with what I said before about, you know, getting the client to kind of, the prospect to sit down with you and to talk to you. That is really what's going to make the difference in their day and really help that underlying problem that they have, the underlying uncomfortableness with the plan choice that they made. But if you are on a kiosk where you're at a Walgreens and the Walgreens or CVS is open up to every single agent who has a contract in the zip code that you work, in the county that you work, don't be a bad agent, but also do not assume that the client, prospect, whoever you're talking to, is going to know that the next person who's sitting there isn't affiliated with you. Okay? So sometimes, and I've seen this a lot, unfortunately, someone will come to the kiosk and say, hey, I talked to so-and-so the other day. You know, I think I'm ready to enroll in XYZ plan. And because the client assumes, the prospect assumes that you, who are now sitting there, is that same company, same agent almost, that was the one who helped them the other day, they will gladly sign up with you, thinking that it's all United Healthcare, it's all CVS plans, it's all whatever, everyone works for the same company. So especially when you are at one of those kiosks, try your best to either close there, which you can because it's an informal marketing event, or this is the second, probably the only other option, to close outside of that place. Because if you tell them to come back on, let's call it Thursday afternoon, because your shift is 12 to 3, the likeliness of them showing up there at the right time and the right day, small. It's way better if you get their number, give them your business card, say, hey, I'm going to call you up after my shift. If you want to talk to someone, we can talk to someone. If you want to think about it, we can think about it. But let's go reconvene outside of this place. Because if they associate you to the place, and then they go to the place all the time, they might go to that place more often than you are there. And if someone else sees them and they look curious, that someone else, other agent, might not have the same ethical, moral compass as you do, or as I do, and they will the prospect, give the application to the agent who didn't do anything for them other than sit at that space and take up that space. So don't do those things, right? Unless you have an agency policy where everyone, I don't know, shares or something, which is rare. I've never seen that before. But of course, don't be as cutthroat as to, if you are the person on the receiving end of that prospect's, I'll sign up today. If that prospect cannot properly identify who they talk to, then sign them up there. Because that is the agent's fault for not doing what I said earlier, which was to meet outside, have an additional conversation if they need to, again outside, get the phone number of this person, give the person your business card, right? Multiple repetitions of things that the client prospect can use to remember who you are. All right. What else can we talk about the kiosk that no one really says? One of the things that I think I'm going to have to start doing is standing up, because my body is extremely painful when I'm sitting down for 3 hours at a time. So stand, that's okay. You can stand as long as you're behind the table. Another thing that you could do to kind of help your physiological body when you're there is to sit up. So I will sit up when I'm sitting down instead of hunching over. I keep my phone face down, just so that I can hear it buzz to know that if I got like a notification or a call coming through. I also keep paper on my desk so that if I need to write something down, give the client or prospect some kind of information, like sometimes they ask the information for the customer service number and they don't have their card, or they want me to give it to them, or the number for Medicare or Social Security, I can go look online and write it down and give it to them. And that's a good time to also give them your business card. Or if they're signing up for Medicare, more so than ever, get a BRC, the business reply card, set up so you can have permission to contact them. Yeah, these are all kind of things that happen when you're there at the kiosk that you should really hone in on. Every person who says more than good morning, good afternoon, how's your day, how's it going, anything above that where they're actually talking to you about Medicare plans or health insurance is an opportunity to help them, right? We as salespeople, and I always have to overcome this myself too, is I want to be the person that can be relied on for these seniors, right? To help them find the best plan, to help them understand really what's going to work the best for them, and so they know that. It's really difficult. Our medical system is very confusing, and to understand each intricate thing, not even people in the medical system understand each individual intricate thing. Definitely not the people who make decisions on it. But as users of it, we have to be at least comfortable with whatever we choose, because that's basically what we're given. We're given the luxury of choice. Regardless if the choice is a good one or a bad one or in between one, we have choices. And as a Medicare advisor, specialist, consultant, agent, whatever you want to call yourself, we have the power to provide our clients with unique perspectives on their perception of their insurance, of their health plan. And depending on how we help them see their medical plan, because they have no lens to see it in other than the lens of whatever they've built up, and that lens is not as sophisticated as someone who studied it and does it for hundreds of people every year, right? I mean, unless, maybe not all the time, but for most times, our lens, the way we see the medical insurance, is going to be more, and I'm not talking about they're stupid or something because I use the word sophisticated. It's more of like they don't have all the information, and they will never have all the information. Not even you or I as the agent has all the information. We just have a lot more and a lot more experience. I've enrolled so many people in Medicare plans, more so than I will ever enroll myself, right? So obviously, with that said, I have more experience than most people. And with that experience and information and doing it day in, day out for 10 years, it builds a certain amount of autonomic or automatic responses and information and understanding of the Medicare space and of the health insurance space. So, use that. Let that build confidence in you, that you are not just some salesperson who's sitting down there and collecting information and predatorially attacking all these seniors who are, wandering into your kiosk area. You have good knowledge in you. You have the information. You have the know-how. You have the experience. And hopefully you have the heart to help all those people who come in. And just like I have to tell myself every morning about the person that I want to be, and just do the actions that the person that I want to be would do, and therefore I will become the person that I always wanted to be, which is someone who's helpful, someone who's knowledgeable, someone who educates and empowers individuals to make very important decisions on things that matter to them. And that's all consultants do. That's what we do. I hope you guys had a great time with me in the car. I will see you guys in the next video where we'll talk more about Medicare as we go into the hot summer and move swiftly now into the annual election period coming in October. I'll see you next time.